Good mornings are classified as a hinge movement similar to deadlifts. One of the main differences between good mornings and deadlifts is the bar placement. In a deadlift, the bar will stay over the center of your foot the entire time, allowing you to lift a lot of weight. Whereas in a good morning, the bar will be slightly in front of the center of your foot, increasing the forces applied to your hips, which will force you to use less weight. One of the big reasons why I really love good mornings is because unlike a deadlift, when you set the bar up, that will be your range of motion for every rep. In a good morning, you can start the first rep with a very limited range of motion, and then as you get more comfortable and more used to it, you can increase your range of motion on every rep. Every rep you can go a little deeper and a little deeper than the rep before that. In a good morning, you'll be dynamically working your glute muscles and your hamstring muscles and statically working basically every other muscle in your body, with emphasis on all of your core musculature like your lats, your lower back, your abdominal muscles, etc. Good mornings are great when they're used as accessory work to deadlifts and squats, and they're also great for learning how to do a hinge. If you have a difficulty completing a deadlift properly, good morning can really help you learn that movement efficiently. Good mornings are also really good as rehabilitation. If you've injured yourself doing a deadlift or a back squat, a good morning can help you ease into the movement and teach you the pattern again and really help you build confidence to get back into those movements. In this tutorial, we're going to cover two different methods of completing a good morning. The first one is with the bar on your back. This one you can refer to as a posterior load. The second one is holding the weight in front of you. This one you can refer to as an anterior load. The anterior load is easier for learning purposes, but has greater limitations for loading heavy weight. To set up for the posterior load, you're going to set the bar in the rack as you would for a low bar back squat. To set up for the anterior load, you will simply grab your prescribed weight and hug it as close to your chest as you can. The stance width depends on the reason you are going to do a good morning. If it's to help with a deadlift, I would recommend taking the same stance you would for a deadlift. If it's to help with a squat, I would recommend taking the same stance you would for a squat. If it's just as an accessory work, then do as you please. To complete the movement, you're going to bend at the hips, pushing your butt back and letting your chest come forward, creating a big stretch in your hamstrings. Bend your knees as much as you have to, but not more than you need to. Don't let your knees come forward. Try to keep your shin angle vertical at all times. All of your muscles that are not responsible for the movement will be statically contracting to keep everything tight. You only want your hamstrings and glutes producing movement in this exercise. There's no boundary to the range of motion accessible on this exercise. Everyone will have their own limitations. If you can go all the way down keeping a neutral spine, then do just that. If not, go as low as you can go, keeping a neutral spine. If you are using this movement to help out your deadlifts, I find it very useful to take a brief pause at the bottom. This will help you build strength at the starting position of a deadlift instead of just using elastic energy to come back up. Needless to say that you should keep away from any back rounding, knee caving, or lifting your toes up and falling back on your heels. I personally don't like taking a high bar position for a good morning because I think it forces you to lift your head up and try to support the bar with your neck. Rather, I prefer the bar being lower down your back so your head is not directly involved in supporting the bar.